Hello and welcome into the Sporting Pod. Along with Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Today on the pod, we have a winner. Woo! The men get their first victory in team history. What's next for the squad? Plus, what the women must do to earn the Players' Shield this weekend. And we make our pitches for the best 11 in the Gainbridge Super League. We are fed by the Bearded Pig, locally owned and operated with the original location in San Marco. Make sure you swing by the Bearded Pig for great barbecue and great times. Okay, we were going to start with the women, but last night, because we are taping this on a Thursday morning in the Gemstone Media Studios, last night in Prinks Tire's USL Cup play, Sporting JAX.
Formerly Jaeger Cup.
Formerly the Jägermeister Cup.
Jägermeister Cup.
But in any regard, enter sponsor here. One way or another, it's a victory. The men beat Sarasota Paradise from USL League One 2-0. Rafferty Petter and Ahmad Alcock with the goals. And I will say, while this is not a victory over USL Championship side, I don't think the squad is going to feel too badly about it being the first victory because it has been a long time in coming.
Yeah.
Yes. Go ahead.
They're going to feel it. Like you could tell some of the footage and the Instagram afterwards. It's a big relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guys were excited. You could see on the win cam walking into the locker room, they were excited. I was really, really hoping we could get a win. And we did.
Yeah.
And so I have talked to the guys after practice multiple times, and they say once we get one, the monkeys will be off our back, and hopefully we can just get it rolling. Hopefully we get it rolling.
Well, and speaking of getting it rolling, that's the second game in as many, or second goal in as many matches for Ahmad Alcock, which happened to have occurred
Club record.
immediately after. Well, most consecutive games scoring a goal. It happened immediately after he came on the radio show with me on 1010XL.
What did you think of him on the radio show?
Terrific.
Give us some inside scoop.
Well, I really enjoy Ahmad because he has such an interesting pathway. And I've said this before, talking to pro soccer players about their journeys in their soccer experiences is fascinating. It's not like most other American sports where somebody might grow up in Columbia, South Carolina, play at Clemson, get drafted by the Jaguars, and never live out and just play teams in the United States, and never, other than maybe a game in London.
And that story's been the same for as long as the NFL has existed and the drafts existed, right?
And Major League Baseball and the NBA and all that. With soccer, you have just Ahmad, for an example. Born to Palestinian parents in New Jersey, then at a young age moved to North Carolina, and for a while was very North Carolina based. Went to UNC, played USL League 2, winds up finding his way. He's going to go in. He got his master's degree in neuroscience.
He was heading to work, right?
He was going to go. He was going to go
dental school.
Dental
right?
school.
Yeah, real job.
Yeah, I think, and so he was going to do that, and then he went, well, you know what? I'll give it one more shot. So he gets kind of a walk-on opportunity at North Carolina FC. Then that organization hits the pause button or the stop button, to be determined. And so he's like, well, maybe I'll go take the whatever the test is you take for dental school exams. And so, then Mike McGinty and some others reach out to him, and he comes down to Jacksonville, and here he is, and he's scored a couple of goals here in consecutive matches, but he has played internationally for Palestine. So you talk about the places in the world he's played, and intriguing. So he gets it done. Sporting JAX next will take on FC Naples on Sunday in Prinks Tire's USL Cup action. There is an outside shot that they could advance into the knockout round. They're in group stage right now. And just to give everybody the backdrop on the USL Cup format, there are 7 groups, and there are 8 spots in the knockout stage.
Right.
So there's only one wild card spot, which is going to be very difficult to obtain. However,
and Miami's got the 2 wins, right?
Miami has 2 wins so far. They play Tampa this weekend, I believe,
They
on
do.
Saturday in Cup play. And so what happens in terms of the way that will play out, if Tampa gets the win there, and then Sporting JAX can exact a measure of revenge against Tampa,
Right.
who will come to Jacksonville for the second time this season, then if you beat Naples, you beat Tampa, then maybe it comes down to tiebreakers and whatnot. But the fact they got the win right now is the important thing, and kind of get that monkey off their backs, and hopefully can move forward with a level of confidence that only victories can deliver.
Yeah, we're off the schneid.
Yep, we'll love it. Okay. We do want to remind you that prorated season tickets are on sale now for the USL Championship season. Get the rest of the games on the slate, including the game against Brooklyn FC, which has been moved from the 30th of May to 2 o'clock on the 31st of May.
And why is that?
Well, Tony, it's because the 30th of May is the Gainbridge Super League final, which Sporting JAX may be playing in if they take care of business.
Hopefully it's a doubleheader.
Yes. Well, like
a sleepover.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay.
Sleepover.
All right.
I like that.
All right.
They do that. Everton in the community does that, where it's usually when it's cold out, so that it's to raise awareness for the unhoused, which is really cool.
That is cool.
Sleepover in the stadium.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Well, you can go to sportingjax.com to get your prorated season tickets or call 904-863-KICK. I would suggest giving a call because then you can talk to one of our friendly representatives.
Concierge,
who can
basically.
take the best care of you imaginable. Okay. To the women who are at Carolina Ascent on Saturday. Emerson's eyebrows are popping up. And 7 o'clock on Peacock. I put a note down here. Watch party?
Question mark?
Yeah, just think about that.
Probably should.
If the
We
women,
win.
well, let me actually
Please
walk
do.
through the chronology of this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do this chronologically, Emerson.
Okay.
I joke with Emerson about when we put together this. Here's your behind the scenes moment.
Okay,
from
good. Yeah.
When we are putting together the TV show every week, we include a player feature, a player spotlight that Emerson does a great job putting together. And she'll interview a player or players in some cases.
Or two this week.
And at one point I said, hey, listen, when we're getting to know these players, it's not as much necessarily about what's happened on the field, but we want to understand their personalities, their backgrounds, their interests, all those things. So she started going through that, and she would kind of say, when Ashlyn Puerto was growing up in California, blah, blah, blah. When Parker Roberts was growing up in Kansas City, when Sophie Jones was growing up in the Bay Area. And I was like, it's a logical place to start, but you don't have to start at the
He just
beginning.
hated it, Tony.
Yeah.
There it is.
Wow, like,
he hated that.
This
But
is
I fixed
This is
it.
behind the scenes
No,
of
really.
like a really tough
But
boss.
since we had this open and honest conversation, which I can
I
appreciate.
didn't hate it. I'm just saying you didn't always have to do
I
it.
fixed it now, and now my stuff is 10
you go.
times better.
And here's part of the reason why.
Success, yes.
Yeah.
Part of the reason, sometimes chronological makes sense, but it doesn't have to be the only storytelling device that you
Sure.
use.
Okay.
And so I would urge everybody to watch this weekend for the Sporting JAX report because Emerson has done a sit down with Sophie Jones and Parker Roberts, our captain and vice captain.
I've seen it.
Okay.
I just showed
And
Tony before he got
I
here.
literally teared up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and
I haven't cried since the kid video from Houston where we sent all the swag.
You mean yesterday?
Yeah. I was like, this team's emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
We'll talk about that. We can mention that here in a second. But so I am going to go chronological order here, and we're going to go with the Gainbridge Super League schedule for the final match week of the season, which of course is this weekend. So
That's crazy, by the way. The fact that we are
we're there.
wrapping up.
I love it.
We're
It's
there.
crazy.
Yeah.
So Spokane hosts Brooklyn at 4 p.m. Spokane has possibilities of getting into the playoffs.
Right.
We can talk about those.
We got to help them. No. Wait,
No.
We don't do anything.
Right.
Them and Dallas are
Okay.
contending.
Yeah.
So
Sorry. Yeah.
at 5 p.m., Lexington hosts Tampa Bay Sun. Now, if Tampa Bay were to gain a draw in this match, that would clinch the Players' Shield for Sporting JAX. If Tampa Bay were to win, it would clinch the Players' Shield. I'm not expecting either one of those things to happen.
I was just going to say, I don't think anything is impossible, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, improbable. Lexington playing very well. Tampa Bay's season is done. Obviously, the defending champs, and it has not gone as the way they would have liked it here in year 2 for them. So
when you're down and out like that, a lot of times going out with a dub and really ruining someone's moment.
Play the role of spoiler.
Yeah. There's something to be said for that.
It could happen.
And Tampa Bay's record's not great. But they're really there's pretty good parity in this league, and they're not that bad. They could beat.
So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah.
If again, Sporting JAX and Carolina kick off at 7, so at some point in the first quarter hour of the game, or thereabouts, we'll know the result of Lexington and Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting if there is a result that favors Sporting JAX. How Stacey Balaam manages.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Player usage and so forth there, because then at that point you want to get everybody enough work where they're going to be fresh and sharp for the postseason, but you also would like to get players on the bench some minutes in case they're needed at some point as well.
And it might be such that there's some players that this will be potentially the last time they can get on, right? So you're playing folks to get them some minutes because they just haven't gotten that many.
Yeah. So we'll see how that all plays out in that chronology. Sporting JAX just needs a point to clinch the Players' Shield. It could be a draw against Carolina. Could be Lexington dropping points. Could be 3 points would be a great way to finish it off. And then Sporting JAX has 8 days until they'll play in the playoffs. They will host the semifinals, the women, against a to-be-determined side, and either Spokane or Dallas if they're in first place. If not, if they're in second, could be Carolina. Could be a rematch. So we'll see how it all plays out. But I talked to a number of the players this week, and I said, for it to come down to the wire like this and with something on the line, it's exciting for fans. And got a mixed result of reaction between Alan Kirkup, the associate head coach, and a couple of the players I spoke with, and they're like, well, yeah, it's exciting for the fans. We'd love to have already had it settled, but at the same time, we're going to look at this as the playoffs and go out there and try to get 3 points.
Really is, and it's the Carolina's definitely in. They're in the playoffs. Yep. We, this is a really meaningful match, obviously for both of us. We got to. It's just like Kirkup to be really kind of laid back on that. But it's just like our team, though. It's business. It's they're going to clock in. They're going to go hard. They're going to give it all they got, like they always do. And if everything happens like it's supposed to, we should be fine.
All right, so just so everybody understands the situation, if Sporting JAX loses and Lexington wins, Lexington has the top seed and the Players' Shield as a result of the tiebreaker of goal differential. They are certainly close on this. It's 24 plus 24 for Sporting JAX plus 25 for Lexington. And so that would give them the edge. And Sporting JAX can only be a 1 or a 2 seed, so definitely will host. Carolina could be the 2 or the 3 seed, depending on results. By the way, they're the only club in the league to have won each of the last 5, so they're really on the come here now. And then you've got Dallas and Spokane that are 1 point separated with 1 match to go. So we'll see how it all plays out, coming right down to the wire in the Gainbridge Super League.
Sorry, can Carolina jump Lex?
Yes. Okay. If Lexington loses and Carolina wins, beats Sporting JAX, then they would jump to second.
Right.
So,
but we would still get the shield.
In that case, yes, because we would have beaten Lexington. We would have beaten If Carolina wins and Lexington loses, Lexington losing would give us the shield.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Carolina cannot win the shield.
Yeah.
So Sporting JAX only seeds possible seeds 1 or 2. Lexington seeds potential 1, 2, or 3. Carolina's possible seeds 2 or 3. Dallas and Spokane possibles finishes 4 or out.
I mean, either way, best case scenario is Lex and Carolina play each other. In my book,
I would say so. Yeah. I'd like to see that. Now,
I'm stressed.
I know it's so stressing.
My gosh,
anxiety is
seriously
really high.
Just so everybody knows, the this weekend's game is on Peacock. Next weekend's game, Becky Burleigh, Emerson, and I will be broadcasting, but it will only be on Peacock. It's not allowed to be aired on local television
because it's a playoff.
Because it's a playoff game. So, and the final as well, only on Peacock.
I'm going to get 100 calls about that.
Well,
where's the game, Tony? Yeah.
You are probably. It's amazing the number of your connections who reach out to you for those answers.
I know.
We should. I don't know.
We'll get a mansplainer.
Yeah, right.
Graphic.
Exactly.
Or something. Yeah.
All right. That will do it for the talk about the postseason. Do want to remind you that the Sporting JAX report comes to you each weekend on NBC 12:30 this weekend on Saturday. Then on Tuesday nights at 6, it's the Sporting JAX Coaches Show presented by Honda of the Avenues. You can listen live and on demand at 1010XL.com. We'll have Liam Fox, Stacey Balaam, and a player join us each and every week. Okay, it is time now for us to roll out our picks for the Gainbridge Super League Best 11. I hope you have all done your homework.
I mean, I kind of have.
Tony and I were talking before.
I'm a partial done, so I have some key spots. I can't do a whole 11, man. I mean, there would be 9 of them would be Sporting JAX.
Yep,
so
that's what I was thinking too.
Okay, and I understand that bias.
Okay.
I also asked Becky Burleigh to give us her best 11. And talking with Becky, kind of to your point, Tony, there are so many Sporting JAX players who deserve to be in the conversation. Sometimes it's a little bit tough to pick out who really should be on that best 11. Here's what Becky Burleigh had to say.
Almost too many options. I think that's the challenge. Is there going to be a bias against Sporting JAX because they have too many options? But This is mental gymnastics, man. This is hard to pick a best 11 in this league. But if I had to go with Sporting JAX players from a defensive perspective, I'm picking Georgia Brown. And that's hard because you could make a case for Kate Parks in goal too, for sure. Like she was one that was right there for me. But I went with Georgia Brown defensively just because of her consistency in anchoring that back line. She's a dangerous set piece player offensively too. And she just wins everything in the air in the back for them. I think without Georgia, there's a big hole in the back line.
That's on the back line. How about in the midfield?
Midfield is where it gets tough because I have put both Sophia Bowman and Ashlyn Puerta in there. And Ashlyn is easy. I mean, she's going to be more than likely going to be the playmaker of the year in the league. So that makes sense. And how could you not? I mean, she led the team to such a strong start in the first half. I think Bowman's the one that's a little bit of an outlier. And maybe I have a little bit of a bias here, but just does so much work and has some stats that back that up too. So for me, it's not a no-brainer, but I can see where that might be a stretch for other teams to vote for her based on the fact that there's so many other options.
Yeah, you look at the numbers are going to be part of it, but 6 goals, 6 assists. If you're in double digits in goal contributions, you at least can be in the conversation for
100%
awards. All right, then finally, let's talk about up front. Again, I don't know if you want to go 4-3-3 on your formation or 3-5-2, well, however it is. But again, Sporting JAX has options.
Yeah, I had to go with 3 up top because Kat Berry from Lexington is a no-brainer. She's the leading scorer in the league. There's no way she's not going to make it. But then how do you leave off Paige Kenton and Bailey DeSmit? I mean, both of them, and not just in goals, but in goal contributions, have been such major parts. And right now for the number 1 team in the league.
All right, so that's what Becky had to say, and obviously she'll admit her bias a bit on this, and I'm trying to be as...
Not nearly as biased as I am.
No,
so,
well, I think you might beat us with bias, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just go around the horn here, and what differences or what does your best 11 look like, Tony?
So a lot. Becky had a bunch, so I'm adding to Becky's Meg Hughes.
Yep, I had Meg as well.
Yeah, I'm adding Addie McLean. She's a midfielder at Lexington. She's a playmaker. Lexington had a few as well. Catherine Berry, she's the their
She'll be the
scorer.
Golden Boot
That
winner.
Ekich girl, woman who went to Houston was amazing.
Yeah,
But
last year's MVP.
Golden Boot or whatever. Okay, I didn't know that.
Golden Ball, yeah.
Yeah. And then the only other one that I have is a forward from Carolina, the Riley Baisden girl.
Okay,
woman.
yeah, she's come on of late.
I
Yep.
can't,
Girl
why do I
woman.
keep saying girl
Come on,
like an
Tony.
idiot? I'm sorry. My mom's definitely going to talk to me about this pod. Anyway, those are mine. In addition to all of our team.
I'm not going to lie. I was staring at my computer all day yesterday, working very hard to do my player feature, so I did not make the time to do this. But as you have reminded us, I went to ChatGPT and I asked Chat what they thought. And I
Okay.
think this is an interesting insight.
It's a very Gen Z thing to do.
Yes.
No, absolutely.
So they said for goalkeeper Hope Heisey,
Yeah.
I would be between Hope and Kate Parks.
I agree with you on that.
Defenders, Kelsey Hill from Brooklyn, Ella Simpson from Fort Lauderdale, Jill Aguilera from Carolina, and Sydney Stutter from Carolina. I don't know where the heck Georgia Brown is, but
Yeah,
I would
I
put
think
Georgia
that's a
there.
mess.
And I know that Julia Lester has been out with an injury, but I would put her back there as well.
Seems like maybe on that chat, they were looking at whole history of
Sure.
Gainbridge.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah.
Midfielders said Ashlyn Puerta, Addie McCain from Lexington, and Paige. Paige has been playing up top, so that's inaccurate. But I would put Sophie Jones in there too. She doesn't show up a lot on the stat sheet, and Stacey has said she's the unsung hero of this group. I think she really pulls the midfield together. So then forwards, Catherine Berry, I would agree with that. Kiera Locklear from Fort Lauderdale, and then Sydney Nasello from Tampa Bay. But
Okay,
I
so-
would put Paige and Bailey up top
So
too.
can I also make a recommendation for Fernandez for super sub?
Sure.
Yeah,
Seriously, yeah.
You can.
I like the end of your video where she had just scored a goal. Oh my god! Like
It's
that's
awesome.
where the waterworks started
Yeah.
with me.
All right.
she's so fun.
She is.
Yeah.
And we'll hear from her
Yes.
also
Oh,
this
really?
weekend on the
Oh,
show.
good,
yeah,
yeah.
Talking about her
Soccer Spotlight.
kids
Awesome.
who are there that she coaches. Okay.
I have to add one thing.
Yeah.
ChatGPT gave us a captain
Oh.
for the team, and they said Ashlyn Puerta.
Yeah, there you
Pretty
go.
cool.
That makes sense. Hey, wait, sorry. So is does Fernandez coach for Ancient City?
She does.
Okay, yeah,
Yep.
Obviously.
St. Augustine connection for the
yeah,
former
yeah.
Flyers.
We're love all the things that Ancient City's doing down there. We just recently supported Tony Williams, who's got a thing called Potential, and it's kind of like our foundation work in schools down there. It's
Those
really-
who have listened to this podcast will have heard that
That's right,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
all right.
love
so
that.
Let me just throw mine out there. Mine are very similar to what you're talking about. A couple of different additions that I had. I went back and forth between Hope Heisey and Kate Parks. I don't think you can go wrong there. If you talk about best individual performances, in spot work, you could certainly look at what the new keeper in Fort Lauderdale did to Sporting JAX in a game that should have been about 6-0 and wound up being 2-0. But if just for the breadth of the season, I think Kate and Hope. And Hope was the Golden Glove winner last year. On the back line, I've got Jill Aguilera, Georgia Brown, Amber Weisner, and Sydney Cummings of DC, who just she exerts herself on every game, even if her team has been inconsistent this year. I think that's a player that deserves some recognition. In the midfield,
That's a good shout.
in the midfield, I've got Sam Kroger,
Yep.
who is tied with Ashlyn, Paige, and Meg in terms of assists, with Ashlyn in the central midfield. And I'm calling Meg Hughes a midfielder here. You can make the case for Sophia Bowman. You can make the case on the back line for Grace Philpotts. I think Meg's, the impact she has, particularly going forward, like nobody seems to be able to keep up with her. She is as fast without the ball as she is with it. And
Great call on Philpotts too. Like she's quietly good. Like you don't not super flashy. Good shutdown, great distribution.
Yeah.
Man. Like we're still Georgia and her out of the back.
and Meg work so well
Yes,
together in the
yes.
Greg,
Greg.
the Greg combination.
Oh, okay.
Grace and Meg.
Yeah, I love it.
And then up top,
Can you do 2 Gs like the sausage roll?
we'll get back to you on
Okay,
that.
sorry.
And up top, Cadbury, Bailey Despin, Paige Kenton. So I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sporting JAX players, and then I could flip a coin on the goalkeeper to make it 6. That will not happen when the best 11 comes out. The way the league does it, it's coaches' votes, and there's 2 different ballots, and it's a different process. But everybody voting, everybody will have their own biases. And some will not vote for a player on the other team who they perceive as going head to head with one of their players who they want to get recognition for. So, that will be the official that comes from the coaches. So we'll see how it all plays out in the next week or two. We'll get that as we get closer. Okay, that's fun. If you have your own Gainbridge Super League, you want to tweet it at us or send it via email, SportingPod or TheSportingPod at SportingJAX.com. It is time now for our, you guessed it, Premier League contest. Tony's over there shaking his head. No victories this week from any of us, Emerson.
Correct.
However,
we had some draws.
Couple of draws.
Got some points.
Emerson and I got draws. I had Newcastle. She had Aston Villa. Tony took West Ham.
Tony was robbed. Let's be honest. All of soccer has been robbed.
Yes, sure.
Thank you.
Whatever makes you feel
ahead.
better.
Well, okay. I'm just saying.
Result. Listen, when the result changes, if FIFA overrules or the English, FA changes things, we'll be happy to get.
They were in on it. They're never going to change it. I get it. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I go out on a limb. This is what happens.
So right now, with 2 weeks remaining.
Oh my goodness.
2 weeks remaining. I've got 58 points. Tony 56. Emerson 54.
Wow.
So it is anybody's contest. And a reminder that the winner gets taken to Uptown.
Yeah.
For dinner
and drinks
on the losers.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and this reminds me. Okay,
do we get an employee discount up there?
I got you. So you have to win though. No, I'm just joking. So here's the thing. This is a contest inside a contest.
Yeah.
If you guys can guess, you have one guess.
All right.
The emoji that I sent Liam last night after the final whistle, I will buy you what that emoji is.
Ooh.
You get one guess.
May I look in my
I need to look
emojis?
at what emojis are.
Yeah, you can look.
Not what they are, but the ones.
You can't look at mine, but you can look at yours.
Yeah. All right. Let's see.
You said you will buy us what it is?
I will buy you what the emoji is.
I'm going to say. Obviously, this is something that is consumable. I'm assuming.
I would assume, but there may be a hint in that.
Yeah, you probably didn't send.
Weird thing.
A salad.
Yeah.
You never know. I'm going to say the 2 beers clinking.
Oh.
Okay.
Cheers.
And then
I think that's wrong, but I was going to say that. I'm going to go. I was going to say fire, but you wouldn't buy me fire.
That's right.
So
I would
I'm not
not buy
say
you
that.
fire. That's a good use of context.
I'll go
clues.
with the champagne bottle, I guess.
I'll give you partial credit. I actually have to give you guys both partial credit because it was the champagne glasses clinking. Yes.
Darn it.
Yes.
So you're going to buy champagne glasses?
I was going to be full of champagne. Yes,
Yeah.
I was.
Darn.
I would say too early to pop champagne in the season for the team, but for us.
This is my thing for
Yeah.
Liam.
Okay. All righty. Let's get our picks in here. Remember, you can only pick the same team twice. So Tony cannot pick Forest, Chelsea, Man City, Everton, Brighton, Wolves, Villa, Leeds, or Bournemouth. So, Tony, what is your pick this week?
I'm going to go Brentford over Crystal Palace. I'm so done with you guys.
Emerson cannot pick Newcastle, Brighton, City, Palace, Liverpool, Man U, Spurs, Leeds, or Villa. What say you, Emerson?
I have not picked Arsenal since week 1.
That is correct.
I won week 1. So today,
That's smart.
I'm picking Arsenal over Burnley.
All right.
That's as lock as there gets.
If you will allow me, I have picked Palace, Brighton, Chelsea, Liverpool, Villa, Man U, Bournemouth, and Newcastle twice. And if you will hover over that square on the spreadsheet, Emerson, in white letters where I put it before everybody else made their picks, I just want credit for having made this pick beforehand. I picked Arsenal over Burnley, which means I think that eliminates the chance for Emerson to catch me in the competition. It doesn't eliminate the opportunity for Tony to win, but that's what we have.
Whatever.
So
that's fine. You're still invited to the dinner.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll pick up the tab no matter who wins.
Well, we'll see. No. Let the losers pay it. You might win, Tony.
Maybe.
It could happen. All right. So
I do get a discount.
Arsenal, I would hope.
Yeah.
Arsenal, that's Uptown Market, Main Street in Springfield. Stop by for good times and great oldies.
3rd and Main.
3rd and Main.
Full bar.
Yes.
I've never been there.
What? Yeah, well,
I don't get out
this will be fun.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right. I think that'll do it for
In fact, sorry, I'll just say this.
Now is the time where Tony goes off script.
Yes. Speaking of Uptown, I'm working right now on getting there at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday for Celtic Hearts.
Ooh.
This is the potential for someone not from Glasgow to win this Scottish Premiership
For the first time in a while.
for like 42 years, something like that. So 7:30 in the morning at Uptown if you're feeling it.
All right. That will do it for, unless Emerson has anything she wants to add.
Yeah, I had something.
Hi, Mom. Love you.
Aw,
That's all.
All right.
nice.
No shout outs for Dad?
Hi, Dad.
Who is
Love you.
who is a dedicated podcast listener.
They both are.
Yeah.
They both
Yeah.
are. Hi, guys.
Yo.
Remember to book your flight for the playoff game.
Let's go.
Get to it.
Again, playoff tickets are available by calling 904-863-KICK or by going to sportingjax.com. Let's pack the place for the postseason, the first ever fully professional women's playoff game in Jacksonville history. Let's turn out for the May 24th
Oh, wait, I have something. I'm so
matchup.
sorry.
Yes, perfect.
Next week, next Thursday, I think it is, our women's team is going to the Jumbo Shrimp game, and one of our players will be throwing out the first pitch.
Nice.
There's been a lot of
Yes.
conversation about who's going to handle that.
Last I heard, Sophie Jones.
Okay.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Right?
She seems like she's got an arm.
I would
yeah.
agree.
I think I've seen her throw the football actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
What can I tell you guys real quick?
Oh, my.
No, we don't have a time limit on this show.
Apparently.
And this is that one of the best stories ever.
Okay.
So I was invited one time to throw the first pitch, and I think it was when I was running the arts market. Anyway, I got invited, and I was really excited, and I go out there. And, nervous too because the family's out there. You do not want to bounce
Don't
it.
bounce it.
Yeah, or, whatever, throw it in the dugout. And so, but I played, right? So I feel like I can do it. And I get out there, and I'm standing out there, and up walks Ronald McDonald, full-ass clown. And I'm like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, well, we do two first pitches to, whatever, the Ronald McDonald's doing it for the Ronald McDonald House or whatever. And I'm like, oh, awesome. So I'm following a clown, and he's got these massive shoes on, and he's doing like from the stretch, right? So the massive shoe goes in the air, and he like rifles it straight down the middle, right? And
Did he have the big gloves on, or was it barehanded?
I can't remember if he had a glove.
Oh.
No, he didn't have like a comical glove. But anyway, I have pictures of it. But dude, like I was already nervous, and I got people, friends that I will never live it down if I don't throw it as good as the clown before me.
Well, did you?
I did. I nailed
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I always
But-
tell people
Yeah.
when you do this, there are two things you have to do when you throw out the first pitch. Get it there.
Yeah.
Do not bounce it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about throwing 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Even if you have to put a little arc
Be
on it, it's
safe.
fine.
Yeah.
Because there's not a scout in the stands looking to sign the first pitch
Yeah.
to go to the big leagues. So get it there. Just throw it to the mid. Number two, after you do that, take that ball, give it to a kid.
Oh,
Do not, I mean, give it to a kid.
Yeah.
And like that.
I love
Well,
it.
but
These are good.
I
These
think
are
I'm
good
still a
tips.
kid.
Yeah.
I still couldn't keep it. Okay.
Are you going to get it there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
I don't know if I'll have the opportunity to throw the first pitch ever, but
just keep it high. If it'll be a pro catcher, so they'll know, and it'll actually look kind of good. They'll get up as they catch it, and make it part of the thing.
Yeah.
Just keep it high.
okay.
All right. That'll do it for us here on the Sporting Pod. Thank you all for being patient with us, and thank you everybody here for being patient with me. I was running late today, so
That's okay.
Happy to get in here and get this going. Playoffs are coming, folks.
Yep.
A week from Sunday. Get your tickets, and we will see you at Hodges Stadium as the women try to make more history
And herstory.
right here in Jacksonville. For Tony Allegretti and Emerson Burris, I'm Cole Pepper. Thanks so much for listening to The Sporting Pod.